The following program is sponsored by the Building Wisconsin Television Network.
Welcome to Building Wisconsin, Kilah. Thanks a lot for taking some time out of your schedule, joining us on today's show to represent the operative plasters and cement masons or finishers from Local 599. Now, on today's show, we want to get into the specifics of those trades, but initially I want to know where we're at, kind of set the stage of what we're going to see.
Sure. So today we're at Waukesha South High School. We are working with one of our signatory contractors, C.G. Schmidt, and they are improving the athletic facility. They're placing and finishing a slab that's going to act as the base for the grandstand. So they're going to be able to see the track on one side and the football field on the other side.
Well, it's great to see a community project. High school athletics are so important within our communities. Everybody likes to go and see it, and you want to be comfortable when you watch it. Okay, so when we're talking about the operative plasters or the cement masons, is there a general area of the construction trade that they typically work in?
For sure. Big commercial vertical construction. So skyscrapers, high rises, hospitals, schools, any type of commercial projects like that improve our community.
Okay, so that's the vertical side. As I understand it, you also do horizontal, like highways, roads, and bridges.
Absolutely. Bridge work, highway work, airport runways, highway paving, barrier walls, curb and gutter and parking lots. So basically anything outside made out of concrete.
You know, I never thought of that, and shame on me, that finishers actually finish our roads. You know, I'm driving down here today on the interstate, and to think that there were highly skilled, highly trained individuals there finishing it when it was being placed.
Absolutely, and they take a lot of pride in it. Like experience I have when I'm driving down the freeway, I'm feeling the ride and making sure it's flat. But that's definitely a big important part of our trade too.
Sure. Now, obviously, we're down in the southeast. We're at the Waukesha South High School.
Yep.
Do you guys cover the entire state of Wisconsin?
Absolutely. We're a statewide local. We have members that work all over the state. We have contractors that are all over the state. We also are kind of like broken up into different areas or regions. So as a 599 cement mason, you could be working in one of those areas. A lot of our contractors kind of stay local to where they are, but there is also the possibility to travel around a little bit based on where the contractor is working.
So if I want to become a cement mason, I can travel around if I want to? Is that one of the luxuries of being part of your union?
Certainly, yep. You can travel if you want to, but we also have the luxury of if you don't want to, you don't have to. There's typically a lot of work in the area, and if there's not, that's the bonus, is that you can chase different work, you can go to different areas and pick up there. So,
you know, I want to tackle a misconception that I often hear out there, and that is that I want to get into the trades. I want to be a cement mason, so I'm just going to go down to the union hall and they're going to hire me. Union doesn't actually hire. I mean, you guys have a relationship with your signatory contractors, and maybe you could explain how that all works and what the role is of, in your case, Local 599.
Sure. Our contractors and our organization, the union, we establish the contract together, but as a member, you are actually employed by one of our contractors. Okay. So we're never your employer, but we negotiate and establish the contract, meaning like the working conditions that the people work under. We as the union administer your benefits and make sure like that stuff is all handled and working properly, and we kind of like handle the business of your life, so that you can just go to work and you can just think about being a quality craftsperson and think about the job. These jobs are dangerous, so it's important to have your head in the game, and it's important to be focused on what you're doing, and we're kind of like the manpower people, or the
and not to mention the least of not which is the training that goes on. I mean,
absolutely.
You provide a highly skilled, highly trained workforce for your signatory contract.
Absolutely. Super professional. They spend hours and hours every year in a 3-year program in the classroom learning about the material that we work with, which is a perishable material, which makes it a little bit different from a lot of the other trades. There's a timing factor of it. We learn about safety, we learn about math to be, potentially one of the people figuring volumes and keeping things rolling in a productive manner. So
yeah, that's great. I mean, it's a great career opportunity. I have a lot of buddies that are in the cement mason, cement finishing trade, and it's hard work, but I really respect them because you see how hard they work, but they take pride in each and every
Sure.
job that they do.
Sure, hard work, but really rewarding in the fact that, you know, when you all band together like a team and get something done, it's a major accomplishment.
Sure.
So most of our members are super proud of the work that they do.
That's awesome. Okay, and you mentioned your signatory contractors. Tell us a little bit about C.G. Schmidt, the one who's in charge of this project.
Sure, C.G. Schmidt's one of our good, strong general contractors. They always try to maximize their apprenticeship ratio, so very involved in building the future. They participate on our apprenticeship fund as trustees, which makes a lot of the decisions and helps us with managing that side of it. They're one of our biggest contractors, have lots of man hours, and they're usually a part of the greatest projects.
That's a great working relationship, great
Yep.
partnership, and that to me is what makes us so strong here in
Yep.
Wisconsin. It lends itself to our high quality of life that we all get to enjoy.
Absolutely. Without contractors like that, we wouldn't be as successful as we are. So.
Okay, I'll catch up with you a little later in today's
Okay.
show. Right now I can hear the trucks coming. We're gonna go see how this concrete is placed and then finished.
Fantastic.
Well, Josh, thanks for taking some time out of this process to come on Building Wisconsin, and we wanted to catch up with you because you're the foreman here on this job, and we want to learn more about the process, and let's start by explaining what's gotten us to this stage.
Well, before everyone sees the concrete coming down, there's a lot of work that goes into the project prior to that, like the subgrade. We have to prepare the subgrade. That's got to be to the grade that it needs to be at. It needs to be well compacted, granular soil. We also need to set our forms up back here. So that's got to get in place before any concrete even comes onto the job.
And when you say back here, that's on this specific job because over here you already had, it looks like an existing curb.
Yep, this is an existing curb that was on this side, so we're going from the concrete that's existing to our new shutoff that's going to be at the other end.
Okay, so what is your role in this process?
My role in this process is to make sure the process goes smoothly. I'm here as the foreman. I make sure that the guys are working, make sure that it's done properly, so the customer ends up with a product in the end that's primo.
And you know, even though they just started today's pour, I mean, there's a lot of teamwork here. It really seems to me to be choreographed.
Oh yeah, it's like organized chaos sometimes. There's a lot of things going on. With concrete, you're using a time-sensitive product, so you have a certain amount of time to work with it. So everyone has to be on the same page, everyone has to know what they're doing so that we can get this done in a timely manner. Otherwise, it makes our job a lot harder.
What led you to this career?
Well, that's kind of funny. A friend of mine, when I was right out of high school, a buddy of mine, he got into the carpenters union. I thought I wanted to be a carpenter, and his dad and his brother were cement masons. They were looking for an apprentice, and I said, why not? And like 26 years later, here I am.
26 years, wow. So you must be happy with your career choice?
Yeah, it's a very fulfilling career choice. You get to drive by, look at what you did. You can ask my wife and kids. I always tell them, hey, we worked on this project. Hey, I remember when we worked on that project. And they go, yeah, Dad, we know you worked on that project too.
Yeah, but that is so cool. I mean, I always talk about our high quality life here in Wisconsin, and it's because of tradesmen and women like you that take pride in the work that they do. And these gentlemen are no different, right?
Absolutely. It doesn't take just one person to finish concrete. It takes a team and everyone working together. I might be the foreman in charge, but if my team isn't know what they're doing, it doesn't matter.
You know, a trade like this especially, I gotta believe mentorship is important. I mean, touch on the training with 599.
Yeah, I used to be with 599 as the apprenticeship coordinator and instructor for the apprenticeship program. So my heart is with the apprenticeship program. I think it's very important to have apprentices on the job to teach the young people that are coming up how to do this trade so that in the future it continues with the high quality work and craftsmanship that's out there today.
Oh boy, yeah, if we don't have those apprentices, they're the future of the next generation.
Absolutely, and we got to teach them so that they're out there, they can take over my job when I go to leave and retire, and then they can come in and do this job for us.
Boy, that's awesome. Well, I hear another cement truck coming. Let's get out of the way. I want to catch up with you in a little bit when the next pour is completed.
Sounds good.
And as I look around here, it looks like there's different trades being represented on this pour.
Absolutely. We have one of our cement masons here running this copperhead or the laser screed. We have our other cement masons on the bowl float and the Fresnos over there. We have guys that are at Local 599 as well that are running the edges. And then we also have the laborers on site behind our operator.
Well, let's get into the actual process itself. We talked about how it needs to be prepped properly, but once the trucks arrive, walk us through the pour, because again, I am just blown away by the artisanship, the teamwork that goes on here, and again, the choreographed routine.
Everyone knows what they're doing. That's why training is important, that everyone has a basic understanding of what's going on. So when it first comes up, the truck will come up, it'll place our concrete down or pour it onto the ground for us. Then our puddlers, which are the laborers, they'll come up and they'll puddle it, get it to a rough grade. Then our operator here from Local 599, the cement mason, that's on our laser screed, he'll come up and he'll screed it off. So that's using the copperhead here, screeding off the concrete.
And screeding meaning you're making it absolutely perfectly level because it's based on a laser.
Believe it or not, this is not level. This has pitch to it, so the water runs off. This is outside concrete. A floor inside is going to be level. Your outside is going to have what we call pitch to it. So I believe on this project here, we have a 3% pitch that we can't exceed. So the laser is actually set up at an angle, so that machine reads it off that angle, and it gives it that pitch, so the water will go from this side over to the other side.
That's amazing. I mean, I think about advancements in the construction industry. I often don't think of cement finishing as being an advanced trade, but it really is, because you go back 50 years ago, there wasn't that. Now it's precision is probably a better term on all these jobs.
Absolutely. We're using lasers, we're using machines like the copperhead, we use finish machines as well, so that the industry has been evolving over the years, that we're not just all pulling a strike off and going down on our hands and knees anymore. A lot of it, we have machinery and equipment to help us do our jobs.
Well, all of what you're talking about screams, you need good training and mentorship.
The apprentices are our future. We need these people. Concrete's a great equalizer. Right? It doesn't care who you are. It's going to get hard no matter what. So having these apprentices out there on the job and training them properly is going to make them successful on the job and successful to our contractors that are out there working in the field.
Again, our quality of life here depends on that, and we're fortunate to have a very high quality of life here in our state. Absolutely. As a result of our trades.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's touch on the finishing process, the final finishing. Here you said it was a broom finish. There's
Correct.
Different types out there, right?
There's different hard trowel finish, smooth finish, all sorts of different types of finishes you can do. You can do stamped concrete, you can do stained concrete. On this particular job, we're doing a broom finish. Most outside concrete is going to have a broom finish to give you that traction so that people, when they're walking on it with their inclement weather, the rain, the snow, that they don't slip.
And you mentioned the weather. That's probably why there's a pitch here. If it rains, especially in the fall when they're playing football and you might get some 30-degree weather,
Absolutely.
You don't want it to rain and then freeze. You want that to rush off whenever possible.
And we don't want the water going onto the football field.
Gotcha.
So we want that water going away from it to the proper drainage going down the storm sewer and away from the project.
Well, you're working with a time-sensitive material. I'm going to let you get back to your crew. It's looking great. Thanks so much for coming on today's show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Great to see you again, Kilah, and it looks like we're visiting a really cool project featuring the members of Local 599. Tell us where we're at.
Yeah, so today we are at the Medical College campus and we are witnessing one of our contractors, Zenith Tech's slip forming curb.
Okay, and so slip forming, I want to get into that process, but before we do, let's just step back and reiterate what we talked about earlier in the show, and that is that this road building, that's one aspect that your members can do versus the commercial, which is more focused on finishing concrete in and around buildings, right?
Absolutely, yep. The road builders are going to be doing things like bridges, airport runways, curb and gutter like we're seeing today, driveways, anything that you drive on outside, walk on outside made out of concrete compared to big floors,
Sure.
skyscrapers, stuff like that.
Do your members focus in on just road building or commercial, or can they cross over if they want?
They absolutely can cross over. In our region or our part of the country, it's more typical for members to stay on one side or the other, but they're qualified to do both.
Is there a wage difference between the two?
Both of the sides work under a different contract, so it's a different negotiated wage, but right now the difference is cents per hour.
Okay. And what about apprenticeship? If I become an apprentice, do I have to focus in on one or the other, or is it a general?
So in apprenticeship, you're getting general information about the science of the material. So concrete is an intricate, dynamic material, and we learn about that. We learn about math, we learn about safety. We equip you to be a professional. Most of the difference comes in the on-the-job training. So you're working for around 4,000 hours as an apprentice, and a small amount of that time, 10% of it, is actually in the classroom.
So what is it, about a 3-year apprenticeship?
You can complete it in 3 years. Some people take a little bit longer, into 4 years. Depends on how many hours you consistently work, but minimum of 3 years.
Well worth it. It's a great, rewarding career. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I have a lot of buddies that are in the concrete side of the business, and they love it. You know, yeah, it's hard work, but it's very satisfying at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And I know that's near and dear to your heart because you were a road builder, right?
Yep, I spent all of my time in the field as a road builder, and most of my time slipping curb.
What's that like, driving around communities and looking at the different curbs that you've been doing? I mean, that's got to have some pride to it.
Looking at the curbs, and also, you know, like the big thing is like feeling the ride, right? That's how you can, you know, you can see if you did a good job or not.
And so you...
It needs to be smooth.
How many years were you in that?
I was in the field for almost 15 years.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So how did you get into this line of work to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, I started on a road crew to make money to pay for college. And I took a little bit of a break. I decided I was gonna, you know, make some money. I was making great money when I was 18 years old, and that was a long time ago.
Sure.
And then along the way, I just got more and more involved with the union, and here I am today.
More and more involved, that's an understatement, because you've worked your way up. You're actually business manager now, right?
I am, yep.
So
Currently serve Local 599 as our business manager.
Well, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, that's a great story for our viewers that you just shared. I mean, young men and women that want to get into a rewarding career, I mean, follow your path. I mean, look at how far it's gotten you.
100%. Anybody can do it. We don't look at gender, we don't look at race, we don't look at any of it. We just look at how hard you want to work and how good you want to be at your job.
And teamwork plays a lot, right? You have to be the type of individual that isn't necessarily a loner. I mean, you want to work together and be an integral cog in the wheel, so to speak, especially when I see these guys in action over there.
Absolutely. It's just like playing a sport. There's certain people that are better at certain things depending on what they like, their physique, all of these kind of things. Sure. But everybody has a critical role, and teamwork can make or break the day, can make or break the job.
Sure.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, let's get more into this project now. I mean, you said it was slip forming curbs.
Yep.
Tell us, what is slip forming?
So basically, slip forming means we're sliding the slab in without any forms. So no structure to help the curb stand where it's gonna stand. It comes out of the machine in the stiffness, I guess you're gonna say, that it's gonna stand up on its own.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. So in the background, I see a finished curb. That looks different than this. Are there multiple different curb styles that a machine like that can do?
Certainly, all kinds of different profiles depending on the speed that the traffic is traveling, depending on the municipality and what some of the regulations or specs are, depending on what you need it to do.
And you know, when I look behind you here, that reminds me, I mean, this one right here that they're doing today reminds me of a smaller version of, say, a freeway when you have the big concrete barriers on the median.
Basically, this is a mini barrier wall, but it's performing its function, which is eventually going to be to contain the asphalt.
And when you talk about the function of a curb, containing the asphalt is one aspect of it, but also safety and longevity of the road, right?
Safety and longevity of the road, safety in that one of the other major functions is that directing the flow of water. Sure. That's the two main aspects. Definitely control the flow of water by the pitch and to contain the asphalt.
Yeah, and containing the asphalt, that's what I mean by longevity. If you don't contain it, it's going to break away
Absolutely.
and vanish. So
Yep.
that's awesome. And you know, so many of these aspects we take for granted, but that's what I love about Building Wisconsin. We get to show the professionals that install these so we can take them for granted.
For sure, we can. It's one of the reasons why we kind of feel like unsung heroes sometimes, is because you don't really think about it. I myself had no idea what my job would be, especially this role, until I actually did it. So that's one of the cool things about having you here with us, is we can show people exactly what it is to be a cement finisher.
Are there a lot of contractors that work with Local 599 that do this type of slip forming?
There's a handful, and there's different contractors in different areas of the state. Some of them specialize a little bit more in, say, barrier walls. Some of them might do a little bit more private parking lots. Some of them find themselves most of the time on like big highways. But yeah, we have a bunch of different contractors that do really similar scope of work.
And the contractor that's doing this project?
This is Zenith Tech. They are a bridge builder and a highway paver, one of our biggest contractors, meaning they employ a ton of cement masons. Matter of fact, most of the guys that you see on this crew are all cement finishers. The foreman is cement finisher, so we love working with Zenith Tech.
That's awesome. Well, I really love having you on today's show. Look forward to seeing you again on Building Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Right now I'm going to go catch up with Tom to learn more about the specifics of this project.
Great, thanks, Stu.
Tom, I appreciate you letting us pull you off the project for a few minutes to learn more about the entire process and what we're seeing. So let's begin by explaining, what is slip forming a curb?
Basically what we have a piece of equipment that is actually placing the cement for us. The slip form is right there, is the mule where the concrete's coming out of.
And then Kilah mentioned that most of the other workers here are cement finishers,
Yes.
that they got to play an intricate role in the end
I
product.
mean, the equipment can only do so much. We still have to finish the product, finish any imperfections in the curb. We're cutting joints in the curb.
Okay.
We're verifying the elevation, and if it's not correct, we've got to redo the top and bring it up to the proper grades. There are two rebar that are going down the middle of it also for reinforcements.
It's a great example of how all the trades need to work together, especially in a project
Oh
like
no,
this.
teamwork is everything. And everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody respects the project, so it goes well.
Just out of curiosity, how long have you been a cement finisher?
Too long. I actually retired 4.5 years ago. I'm 64 and a half.
Okay.
I had my own business for about 25, 30 years.
Oh, interesting.
And then just the way labor was going and so on, I was planning on retiring when I was around 50. I had an opportunity with a union contractor in Madison, Wisconsin. They offered me a job. I've known him my entire life. I went there, and then I just kind of worked myself through several companies. I just enjoy pouring concrete.
I was going to say, you must love finishing concrete.
No, it's just, when you find something you like to do, it's kind of like your hobby. It's fun when you get done.
Well, I can tell you, Local 599s, I'm sure they value your experience and the knowledge you bring here, because a big part of the trades is passing on and mentoring the next generation, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I do the best I can.
Okay, back to the machine, back to the process itself. How important is the mix itself? Because to me, you're pouring a vertical wall. That's got to be pretty stiff.
Extremely important. I think we're pouring a 6-bag mix, but a slump is something critical. And when I say slump, slump references how much moisture is in the product. Usually behind a curb machine, you're between a 1 and 3 inch slump. We're probably putting this out between a 1 and a 2 right now.
So who's in charge of that?
Mauricio there, he's the foreman with the level. He's checking the grade as we're going. He's put a level across from the string line and measuring down, I believe our drop is 12 inches.
Sure.
So he's verifying that, and if it's low, we have a long strike off, which is 16 foot long. We'll lay that across, check it. If it's not right, we'll put forms on both sides and correct the grade.
And let's talk about once the concrete has been placed or slip formed,
Right.
what are your cohorts here, the cement finishers, doing?
Raul here, he's cutting joints, as is Louis. I call him M. He's coming behind, he's brooming and correcting any imperfections. I was finishing the top and the sides. Pancho there, he's finishing the sides coming up. We're all working in unison going down.
And why is finishing concrete so important?
Well, if you look as it comes out of the machine, it's pretty rough. Cement, you know, you get it on the ground, you strike it off, there's voids, it's not flat yet. So in the finishing process, you're bringing it up to what you're going to see when the concrete gets hard.
Sure.
That over there is a finished product. When it came out of the machine, it didn't look like that.
So part of
Finishing
it's
is-
aesthetic,
Yeah.
but I gotta believe it also helps with the longevity because you're sealing it by doing
Yeah,
that, right?
Yeah, we're filling in any voids in the concrete. We're cutting joints in. They call them control joints. We're trying to control where the concrete cracks instead of a crack wherever.
I remember a concrete contractor one time told me, I can guarantee you one thing in concrete, and that it's going to crack.
Concrete
So
will
you might as well
crack,
control
yeah.
it, right?
That's
As best you
absolutely
can.
right. Best we can, yes.
Okay, this project, how long is this and how long will it take to complete, do you think?
We have about 2,400 lineal feet we're pouring, so we have probably about 1,200 going up to the road and 1,200 getting back. We'll definitely make the roadway today at least. We might come around the top, but we'll have this done tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking time to explain it to us. I'll let you get back to you and your crew
Thank you very much.
in this highly choreographed process.
All right, thank you.
For more information on Building Wisconsin, follow us on Facebook and be sure to watch additional episodes on YouTube or at our website, buildingwisconsintv.com. The preceding program was sponsored by the Building Wisconsin Television Network.